everyone. Hello. Before we begin today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owner of the land that we are gathered here today. I also wish to pay my respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. Today we are here to listen to a story about CBA. This is a continuation of what Nidhi had said, but we are going to zoom in on certain aspects, particularly along the AI acceleration with which CBA is moving forward and what is really fueling our acceleration. Right? We'll look at the acceleration story first. 10 years ago, more than a decade ago, it was, CE, customer engagement engine, the way we are engaging with our customers, we felt that we need to unify the process. They were all different channels, but needed one strategic way in which we want to engage with it. Great, we built it in 2018. But we felt that the more AI we included, the better engagement there is. And we are very particular about customer experience. So that's why 2019, we said, okay, let's introduce AI. So we have 300 machine learning models that are sitting as a part of CE. Fast forward just 3 years, right? In 2021, 22, we have scaled it to 1,000 models that are facing our customers through CE, which is an incredible pace with which that we are accelerated, 3x in 3 years. And I think in just 2 years, I think by 2024 June, we have over 2,000 models. So another 2 more years to 2x the acceleration that we have had. We will look into what has been fueling that acceleration. So this is about the machine learning side of things. There is also a Gen AI aspect. 2023, the entire world was hit by this Gen AI wave. Everybody was talking about ChatGPT. I think even our grannies and aunties were also talking about them, right? We were not sitting on the sidelines. CBA made sure we were not just doing a proof of concept. We wanted to, again, increase the customer experience. So our frontline workers had the first deployed Gen AI use case to solve customer problems very, very swiftly. And 2024, you may have seen the video that Nidhi had played. From a business banking perspective, I think there are 3 use cases now which are actually customer-facing Gen AI. I would probably say a handful of companies, let alone banks, that can say that they have Gen AI models that are facing our customers. And 2025, we also have partnerships tied up with AWS, Anthropic as such, and our acceleration is continuing because we have identified over 60 plus Gen AI use cases as well. So taking a step back, the takeaway from this slide is CBA is accelerating in our AI acceleration journey, and we are very, very ambitious when it comes to AI. Now, for all of this, there are 4 ingredients of this secret sauce that is really fueling our acceleration. And we're going to take a look at it one by one. The most important is creating exceptional teams. CBA is very particular about this. It is so important that is one of our leadership principle is to create exceptional teams. So we will look into how we are doing this. And we'll start from the left side and it's going to go towards the right. We start with acquiring talent. And we just don't go say, oh, I need 10 engineers, 20 data scientists. No. It comes from a strategic standpoint, strategic workforce planning to say from a business perspective, what are our requirements? In order to satisfy that, how should we build our team? How many of them should be in early career? How many in mid career? For that, how many in senior career? And also the spectrum of talent that we look for. In CBA, in banking, you have probably the foundational traditional ML models, statistical models that are needed. You also have text-based interactions that are there. You probably have documentation-based. People submit applications. How do you process that? Even in AI flavor alone, there is just such a wide spectrum of talent that we require. Great. And one more dimension is the location as well, right? Agnostic of the location, how do you plan the strategy to say, okay, in this location we require all of this talent? With that, next step is that given the federated and the scaled nature, we also need a scaled recruitment process and a very standardized way in which we want to do it, which means there are bar raiser committees. There are applications that come to us. We make sure that, okay, the first 60-80% are foundational skills. Let's test the candidates on those skills, and then based on their preference, based on the requirements that we have, we will do that matching. So this way, we expect a standard that is maintained across locations and across different teams and businesses. From an early career standpoint, we recently did a scale recruitment process as well. We have hired over 100 graduates, and this is across IIT, BITS, and other premium institutes. This is again engineering and data science folks coming together and joining us in CBA in August. So this is the breadth side of things. There are also certain peak points. In this exceptional team, there are also certain exceptional talent. We have recently had 2 Kaggle grandmasters joining our data science team. We have 2 40 under 40 data scientists as a part of our team, and 1 top 10 data scientist in the country as a part of it, right? So we take talent acquisition very seriously. Once somebody joins us, the next step is their delivery. How do you, are aligned to that business? Now, this is a very interesting concept that CBA actually does. We do something known as a cross-functional squad. For this business problem to be solved, you may need a handful of different flavors of engineers, system engineers, platform engineers, MLOps engineers. You would want analytic folks. You would want data science folks. You would want a product owner. All of these people come together in a cross-functional team, and there is accelerated delivery that is happening, right? And this direction of the delivery is actually set by that leadership. Nidhi lightly touched upon it in the other one, but I want to double click on this. There is this Gen AI Council, which is led by a CIO, Gavin Monroe, and a whole bunch of executive members who are a part of this. And this is leadership across different dimensions. There are business leaders who are highly attuned to what the customer requirements are. Then there are technology leaders who know what is required. And then the AI who are very, very attuned to the latest in the AI technology. Given this interconnection, when a customer problem is there and you know this latest technology happens, there is accelerated AI adoption of the most recent technology. And there is such a collaborative nature again among the leaders. It's say one part in business banking, they manage to solve the problem. You take those learnings and try to adopt them on, say, the retail banking side of things, or vice versa, right? Such a lovely environment, and the leadership actually comes from the very, very top. The next one is one of my favorite topics. I'm a part of the upskilling team, so this is going to take 2-3 minutes. This part is where the sharpening of the axe comes in, right? It's not just you're always focused on delivery, always improving the business. How do you improve yourself? Sometimes you may realize you don't need just an axe, you may need a hammer, or in fact a chainsaw, which is probably the latest technology. So that's why all the engineers, data scientists, data engineers, analytics folks, they are a part of their own community of practice. They practice their craft of data science. They practice the part of it. And I can't resist by saying this dialogue. In theory, there is no difference between theory and practice, but in practice, there is, right? So from an upskilling point of view, we can give from a theoretical basis a lot of self-serve, self-paced learning options. As in, we have our own internal portal, which is free of cost. We also sponsor AWS certifications. In fact, I think CBA worked with AWS, made them create for data engineers 3 levels of courses to upskilling them, and then rolled it out to CBA, upskilling every single person in it. They all have their certifications as a part of this process. And this is an ongoing process. So self-paced is there. But the second part is that practice, right? The hands-on side of things, how do we actually do it? That is also a part. But one call out here, when we do this one, this is that active learning environment. Sometimes we also need something more intense. For example, sponsoring of master programs. Like there are options for tertiary education that you can do. But very recently, for the first time ever, like totally it has happened 4 times that CB has sponsored someone to do a master's program in Australia. Last 3 times they have been Australian citizens. This is the first time ever from India. Just only one person was selected across the locations, and that person was from India, and she is currently doing her master's program. So we take upskilling very, very seriously. And this is not just for the technology folks. We don't, subscribe to the concept of limiting AI technology only to technology. So there are future ready workforce. For the foundation, we have something known as AI for all skilling. A lot of folks have done this to make sure they understand the AI concept as well as the risks that are introduced because of AI. So this is one. But the hands-on part, we encourage everybody to apply for GitHub Copilot or Microsoft Copilot. All of them would have access to this as well. So a part of that growth comes as you learn, you also want to grow. And we understand that talent comes in different shapes and sizes. Some people may prefer more, people leadership. They want to give back and they want to do mentoring and coaching. So they want their team as well. There are others who are highly technically focused and they want to focus only on the solutioning side of things as well. So we understand those differences. So we have 2 independent career tracking paths as well. So from an individual part, you can go all the way to a distinguished AI scientist or a distinguished engineer. You can go, or also from a people leadership side, you also have chapter area leads. So I also want to add some more. Promotion is not like this typical civil servant type, like, oh, 2 years you've been here, here is your promotion. No, we don't do that. It depends on the individual's preference as well as the individual's readiness. When an individual feels that they are ready for the promotion, they apply for that process along with whatever evidence. And this is an anonymous process in which, again, that bar raiser will make sure that the contributions, you are operating at the level that you require. So given the scale at which we operate, I'm talking about 8,000 plus technology folks spread across so many different locations in the world, have to go through this standardized process for their promotion to make sure that we maintain the bar. So first ingredient, great people and processes. The second ingredient, let's take a look at it. Now this is global best digital experience where we are reimagining banking. I'll give an example where everybody can relate to. Let's take a card, you swipe the card. When do you actually know that a fraud or scam has been committed, like you're part of somebody scammed you? Sometimes you look at your credit card bill and say, why did it become so much? Or when you're trying to pay someone in UPI, it says not enough bank balance. Then you don't even know when this is happening. Sometimes a few days later, when you have time, when you're waiting for something, you look at your phone, you look at your messages, you realize a large transaction. Sometimes we get a call a few minutes after we do a transaction that, okay, hey, this is so-and-so bank, did you just make a transaction? But global digital best experience, you know how fast CB can detect that there is a fraud or a scam? 10 milliseconds. Let that sink in. For us to blink an eye, it usually takes 100 to 400 milliseconds. And CBA is able to detect when the moment the transaction happens within 10 milliseconds. Now that's global best digital experience. Now let's look under the hood, right? To enable such kind of use cases, what sort of technology needs to come together to actually fuel it? First one is platforms. This single transaction, 10 milliseconds. Imagine 20 million transactions in a single day. We need the infrastructure to support it. We definitely need that part. The more data we have, the richer data ecosystem that we have, the better we are at detecting this. And to do that, we also need to store our data. Imagine 20 million transactions in a day. How many months, sometimes years worth of data do we need to store to do that sort of accurate prediction? So a lot of platforms are coming to, and there are, as usual, we have legacy platforms, but we need to migrate them without disruption as well. Not just that, the data platform, again, such seamless way in which we are doing that modernization of our platforms. And as Nidhi mentioned earlier, like, we thought this journey was going to take us 18 months. And in under 9 months, very proud to say that we will be done with it very, very soon. Right? So that's the first box, and we are going clockwise. Second is the AI technology. We have over 100 plus LLMs to choose from. Like, our data scientists and engineers have a variety of options. But these are not just the older versions. We have the cutting edge LLMs also available as such. We also have Southern Hemisphere's most powerful GPUs. We use the AWS P5 H100 instance to fuel a lot of our computation as such. And a lot of agentic framework has also been built into this. Now, I'll move to the third box, and it's very closely connected as well. Great, we have all of this technology, we have all of that platform. Does that mean everybody should go start cooking from the beginning, from the scratch? No. We build reusable AI assets. There are data which are common, which can be used across businesses. So there's a data marketplace. There is also an agentic reusable assets. For example, for metadata gathering, for doing that quality analysis, for doing the testing automation, we have reusable agents being built at the moment. And there are also certain Gen AI guardrails. We have guardrails as a service being built. If somebody, if there are so many customer interaction points, everywhere you need to check are there profanity, everywhere you need to check there are PIA information being leaked, sensitive topics that are being shared. In fact, something known as financial advice. As Gen AI concept, we are very particular, like an LLM should not be giving a customer financial advice. So a lot of these guardrails are actually built as reusable assets. And the last one is to accelerate this. Great, all of this is there. But how quickly can we prepare that meal? How quickly can you do that is where the AI tools come in. This allows, this is, I'm talking about H2O driverless AI, which means AI building is not just restricted to data scientists. You have driverless AI, auto ML, where you can do all of this. We also, literally every single colleague is encouraged to apply for GitHub Copilot license. There are no restrictions for access of this. And beyond technology folks as well, the Microsoft Copilot, again, every single colleague is encouraged to do it. So these four components, these come together, and not just the fraud use case to 10 milliseconds, all the other use cases, the best recommendations, all leverage this technology. Great. That's two ingredients down. We are halfway through this. Two more ingredients to go. The icon is pretty much a giveaway. This is about partnerships. And this is, I want to, quote an African proverb here, like, which says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. In CBA, we want to do both. To go really, really fast, to keep in pace with the way the technology has been evolving for our AI acceleration, we have partnerships with AWS. And this is compute related. We recently launched something known as the AI Factory, where we have the best compute, the best models coming together to fuel all things. And we in AWS, the upskilling, the certifications, all of those are very integral to our relationship. As of, I think, 2 weeks ago, we signed up with Anthropic to get their latest models. And H2O.ai said driverless democratization of AI, that partnership. Microsoft is also very keen, not just from a co-pilot perspective, but the cyber security side of things. Again, very close tie-ups. And not just access to their technology, but we have access to their talent as well. If we want to accelerate something faster, we can tap into their network, their talent to get there faster. That's the fast side of things. But CBA is a 100-plus-year-old company, and we have gone really far because of tie-ups with academia, community, as well as the government. From an academia, not just Australian universities that come together, there's also internationally the Harvard University. In particular, about the behavioral science side of things, we want to understand customer behavior so that they have better experience. The way we craft our products, we want to make sure that we are using cutting edge research, especially when it comes to behavioral science side of things. From a community, CBA is a sponsor of South of Southwest events. We also are sponsors of Vogue Code, which encourages girls and female talent to participate more in STEM and STEM education. The last one, government. This is actually quite important. We will cover more details in the next slide as well. This is where we work. In Australia, like, there is the federal government. There are also state governments that are there. So we have very close tie-up with them and to craft something. I won't reveal the suspense just yet. It's going to come up in the next couple of slides. So partnerships, very, 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 very key to this. And the continuation from a governance standpoint, risk management, again, a really critical topic. So whatever you see on the left side here, the 6 principles, this is CBA along with, this one of those 6 companies which came together and the Australian government to come up with this responsible AI framework. What are the dimensions in which we want to take responsible AI and taking this forward? But that's the really unique thing about CBA. We didn't stop with just creating the framework. We want to say, okay, now how do you apply these frameworks when we are doing this model? With over 2,000 models, imagine like the one small governance team trying to check whether you are building. No, that is not the way to scale. So we built something known as the Responsible AI Toolkit, which says that democratizing the AI responsibility as well. As and when you are building your model, it will tell you how much of data bias you have, how much model explainability or bias there is. If there is, what should you do? There is also something known as post hoc explainability. In case of model monitoring, something is not going well, how do you build those things responsibly? And again, that's what I love. We keep pushing the boundaries. It's not just foundational or traditional ML models which have responsible AI. We are also, working on this for the Gen AI side of things. We have those 14 guardrails, that Gen AI guardrails, which are again lift and shift where you can do it. As you are developing the solution, you can just plug those in. Like, imagine a modeler having their own moral compass or a governance compass telling you whether you're using this safely or not. This is not, again, just AI. For the engineering folks here, DevSecOps is something that we strongly subscribe to. Not just the DevOps side, CI/CD part, but while you're building your product, not just AI, any product that you build, how is security there from the very, very beginning? How do you build reliable tools, resilient tools, secure tools for our customers for their best experience is something that we are very keenly aware of. And again, stepping back, it's not just technology, folks, right? Risk management is literally a skill set for every single employee of CBA. Risk is such an important thing. And here I want to, share one anecdote. Microsoft conducted this event for Fortune 500 companies. 100 CEOs gathered together, and this session is on responsible AI. Guess who was the one heading that session? That's our very own CEO, Matt Common. So, risk management, risk mindset comes from the very, very top of CBA. And again, going back to that African proverb, CBA is highly ambitious. We don't want to go just fast. We don't want to just go far. We want to get there very safely. Risk management are the brakes that help us accelerate there very safely. So, four ingredients, all four has been explained. All of these ingredients coming together in the right proportion for the right time and the right technological evolution has what has made CBA the #1 APAC pack when it comes to AI maturity. And this is for the second time in a row, 2024 as well as 2023, the previous year as well. Last year, we were the #6 bank. This 2024, we managed to become #5. But frankly, this is not the destination at all. Like, these are just directions which say, okay, we are headed in the right manner. But our goal is really our pursuit of excellence and a pursuit to give the global best digital experience for our customers. Thank you. That's my talk. I'm open to questions.